time to get some common sense on the president's student loan forgiveness program. The Department of Education will have applications ready by early October. Craig Bolanos, founder and CEO of Wealth Management Group, is always on our Money Watch. Craig, what do you think?
Well, Angela, this is the soup du jour, the topic of the day. Everybody wants to know how this is going to break down. So let's just jump in and get there. So number one, how much debt's going to be forgiven? Up to $10,000 unless you took a Pell Grant. And in the case of that, you're eligible for up to $20,000 of forgiveness. Well, who is eligible? The relief is going to be limited to those borrowers who make less than $125,000 single or less than $250,000 head of household or married. And of course, what income tax years the government actually going to use to determine that eligibility? Well, it's not going to be 2022. You're going to apply for forgiveness based on your adjusted gross income in 2020 or 2021. And of course, what loans are actually going to qualify? Well, basically anything that's a federal loan, nothing private. So that includes what I call Stafford loans and all direct subsidized and unsubsidized student loans.
Craig, what are some of the more nuanced questions that continue to pop up around the president's plan on student loan forgiveness?
That's a darn good question because there's a lot of things floating around in the periphery, these small details that I think are really important. And the first for me is eligibility. When the news first broke, it was discussed that this was going to be based on the income of the borrower. Hence for those federal Stafford loans or what are called direct loans, the ones in the name of the student only, most of us thought that it was going to be forgiven based on the student's income. But we've since gotten clear-cut guidance that if the student was claimed as a dependent on mom or dad's tax return, it's going to be based on mom and dad's income. I think that's going to be disheartening to many. The second one that's out there is income taxes. Typically when you have a loan forgiven, like in the case of a short sale, you have to pay taxes on the amount of forgiveness. But under this plan from the president, there will be no taxes due on the forgiveness of that student loan up to $10,000 or $20,000. Number three, while I'm thinking about it, Angela, is going to be it's actually the cutoff date. This is not going to be eligible for any federal loans that were dispersed after June 30th, 2022. And I think that's going to be tough for a lot of freshmen to hear who had their loans dispersed after the 1st of July. So any loans dispersed after June 30th of 2022 aren't going to be eligible for student debt relief. And of course, number four, I'm sure there are people that think, hey, the government has my records, the forgiveness is going to be automatic. That couldn't be further from the truth. People are going to have to make application through a government portal for forgiveness. So my suggestion is, let's start getting organized and get your records together so you can enter into that portal and make application prior to the end of the year. I'm Craig Bolanos, the CEO and founder of Wealth Management Group. If you'd like to learn more, you can. Check us out on the web, investwithwmg.com.
Go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.